Okay, so now that I have my paper I've chosen, I wrote my name on the back with a pencil. What you want to do is cut your metal face from your foil very slowly, and you're going to add glue on the back of it and place it on that paper you found. Please make sure this is colored in before you cut it and glue it. Now that I've got that cut and glue, I need to make some circles. We're going to be doing 2 circles off of this. So I am going to use, it's a palette for paint, but we're not painting with it, we're using it as a stencil. I like to use it so that the open sides are facing down, and I'm going to do my best. You can kind of see through this too, to place it right in the middle. And with a pencil, I'm going to gently trace. Now, if I didn't get it right, and it's really off, I can gently erase this pencil line, but if it's a tiny little bit off, don't worry about it, just let it go. Now I'm going to take the big metal piece and really look on the sides. If you're doing good to get it in the middle each time, you can kind of tell where it is by making sure all 4 sides are even. Now I'm going to trace along this. And what you will have is 1, 2, 3 circles. Now, as you can tell, this one was a little off. So if I had to, I could go in and I could redraw it and then erase the one that didn't work out right. So I might want to go in and just gently kind of erase until it looks even. If you need a friend for help during this step, it is absolutely okay to ask for help when needed. Okay, so now that I have that pretty much set and erased, I'm going to go in with a Sharpie and trace over those 2 circles I did very slowly. So I'm going to go in here and very slowly trace this one and then my second one. Okay, so now that I have those traced, I'm going to go in and draw 2 shapes in the first layer here with my Sharpie. So think about any shape you want, and then the first shape you want to leave a space for the second. So I'm just going to do a square for this one, and I'm making sure that in between those squares I'm leaving myself enough space to fit another shape in. And what we're creating is a pattern, radial symmetry. So now that I have that, I can either do a line or I can do another shape. So I'm going to do hearts. If it's easier to go back and forth with your shape, you can. You can also twist your paper around. If you're having a hard time drawing upside down, you can move your paper with you as you're drawing. So everyone's different. Some people like to go in with that first shape around, leaving space. Some like to think about their pattern and then draw it as they go. Do what works for you. Okay, so there's my first pattern. Now in this layer, I'm going to come up with a new one. And again, it needs to be radial symmetry. So all the way around, it's the same thing. So maybe I'll do a line and a shape this time. As you can tell this time, instead of leaving space, I thought about that pattern I wanted. Line, triangle, and I'm just going around and I'm going back and forth between the 2. So again, you do what you find is easiest for you. Twist it as you work if you're having a hard time. Okay, so I have my 2 layers now. I'm going to be using some crayons to fill in my shapes first. Now the area behind your shapes, don't worry about right now because we use colored paper. If you don't get to that, it will look fine. You want to have nice opaque color. That means your color is not see-through. If you're not taking your time, this is going to be very hard to do. So using crayons of your choice, you're going to now start to fill these in. Now, if you notice, some crayons are construction paper crayons. They're going to be a little more vibrant than your regular crayons, but it's up to you how you want to use them. So I'm going to start with this one, and you might notice it's not going to pop that much because it's very similar to the pink color, but in my squares I'm going to push hard enough that that color's really going to be filled in. So I'm pressing hard and I'm taking my time to carefully fill that shape in. So I'm going in, and if you want to outline the shape before you fill it in. Now, if you know that you struggle with coloring, you definitely want to slow down with this. Okay, so now as you can tell, I have very little of the paper color showing through my shapes because I took my time, I did layers, and I filled in. So now on the outside edge, I'm going to go in with another color. And as you can see, these are regular crayons. A little bit of that pink pops through. But again, I'm pushing hard to get nice opaque colors, and I'm really taking my time. Now again, you want to keep your colors the same all the way around with whatever color you choose for your shape to create radial symmetry. Okay, so now that I have the shapes done first, look at your picture and see if there's anywhere in between your shapes you want to add colors. So if you can tell in here, I did every other color a different shape and the negative space behind. This is a more finished look to it because of that, whereas this is not quite there. But at least I started with the shapes first, and then I worked my way around the areas behind those shapes.